Hello, hello. Welcome back to Factorio 1000X with the Colonel. We're doing things, growing, we're scaling. Rocket fuel is done. Oh boy, hooray. Trains are fed by rocket fuel now. Nice. We have a sink for excess solid fuel. It's an awfully big sink, I will admit. I just can't be bothered. Having played so many overhaul mods that have ways to void excess, I tend to lean that way when it comes to like what strategies I take to deal with excess. You know, like this factory here, the whole point is that bots are fed with lubricant that has its own excess production of solid fuel. We could, yeah, that's probably a good idea. It produces an excess of light and petroleum gas, light oil and petroleum gas, which needs to go somewhere if it's going to produce lubricant on demand at all times, which is what I want. So this system throws off the excess solid fuel. It's one of 4 inputs into, consider everything to the right of this 4 to 4 balancer. You can consider everything to the right of it one entity. So we want just a hole, think of it as a black hole to just toss solid fuel into. As much as we can produce, which is what happens with these systems here. So one of the things that I hate having to deal with when it comes time to producing like certain things on demand, like for instance rocket fuel. We need to make rocket fuel on demand for our rocket silos. This system will create this machine comprised of assemblers will create 5 per second. In order to produce 5 per second, it needs a certain amount of solid fuel. Now, this thing up here, when it's going full blast, so right now, so I had to introduce something in order to kind of get the system started, because I had burnt through all of my buffer of solid fuel, and unfortunately if you do that, this particular system gets stuck because it's full on light oil and there's no solid fuel coming in to offset the light oil, which means the refineries up here are backed up, which means no solid fuel, so it's a vicious cycle. What we want is we want to make sure that we always have light oil to process any solid fuel that's coming down. So this is just a simple RS latch, or or SR latch, however you want to, you know, tomato, tomato, that ensures we always have at least some light oil so that we can make rocket fuel with the solid fuel that we're getting. We're throwing off a little bit of excess on that fourth line. There's one. But anyway, so we want some if this gets backed up, because we always want to be able to make light oil for these machines. So this just ensures there's always overhead space for us to push light oil into that system. Any excess, if it does get into that backed up situation again, any excess just gets fed back up into this array of buoys to process the light oil. It would normally be processing this light oil up here. But because we had that situation and I had to what is going on here? Like full. Okay. Yes. Indeed, yes. Got a back up here. Wait. Let's see. Let's try upgrading here. Let's see what that does. For some reason I seem to believe we have more chemical plants making solid fuel from the petroleum gas. We have more than we're supposed to? Because this array here is how many? That's 35. 35. It's way more than I can push on a red belt. Once this catches up, we should see here I think we have what a full, for some reason in my head I thought I was supposed to have 27 of these machines. Yeah, because I in my head thought that there was less than a red belt of and we'll see. I would expect, if I'm correct, I would expect that we will see these end up not operating the last few. This last group of 4, I think, is extra. Or this last group of 8, I mean. This last group of 4 pairs. That's decreasing. We got the internal buffers are full, so we're emptying out. Slowly emptying. I think I have that number wrong. Let's see. Each of these guys is producing 11, and there are 48. 48 times 11 is 528 petroleum gas per second. Each of these is 20. 26.4, 27. Yeah, so I've got 8 extra machines down here. So that will eventually catch up. I mean, as these internal buffers empty. It's almost... Uh-oh. Yeah. I can only pull it out at 30 per second. I mean, eventually we're gonna back up on light oil up here. But it works. If it ever works for any really significant length of time, you'd get a better balance in the system, I guess. But at least there's has an offshoot. Well, the system will gradually wind down until something up here, one of these guys, can't produce any more solid fuel. This guy is always going to be able to produce solid fuel as long as there's more than 10,000 light oil in this system. Well, it depends where we get. We'll see. There's at least a 30 per second sink. The question is, can this actually eat 30 per second? I might have calculated that pretty good. It's just a black hole for the excess. The system will eventually settle. Probably... It's a good question. I don't know. Is in fact not quite enough in terms of boilers for... We're pushing those boilers to their capacity. And there's still... It's really gonna back up, isn't it? Yeah, we do, don't we? Get the efficiency going on these boys. They should be on the way. Oh, here they come. Had to come from way down here, I guess. Oh, shit. Yeah, I thought I had... Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy. It's their chief. Got that pipe. Come on, lonely guy. Carry that pipe. Alright, so we have rocket fuel. We have blue chips. In order to make silos, we need concrete. I have the preparations for concrete right here. Concrete, of course. We'll have to cook up some bricks. And then turn it into concrete. What else do we need bricks for? Anything that we need at scale, really? We need it for furnaces. coincidentally, we need to make. I think we do. We do have some, I believe. Yeah, so lots of uses for concrete. We need it for the nuclear stuff. Indeed. Hmm. Anyway, so yeah, so we're going to make a brick setup here. Put them onto this little bus we have here. Then we'll do a little concrete setup. Put it on there. Refined concrete at some point. I don't know, we need to do that right at the moment. Yes. So, what do we want our brick setup to look like? We do have electric furnaces, right? Somewhere. We do not. Fantastic. We have bricks. Indeed. Do have bricks. They are in a storage chest, so they are accessible to the network. Don't have any way to request that stuff though, but I can go down and get some bricks. We need to craft. I can craft those by hand, yes. Let's go get some bricks. It's nice to have bots that first 200 hours was pretty brutal. As anyone who attempts 1000x will tell you, the first bit is pretty tough. What is going on with... What's going on with our science here? Research 4 is a 30-second. Like the productivity bonus for the modules in the lab. That would be, I mean, that would be at more than 974. If you get the productivity bonus more often, then your overall effective science packs should go up, right? I mean, as far as production, we're rock solid. Kind of look at the 10-hour graph for science here. I mean, red and green are proxies for... Blue's probably not going to be 900 per minute because it goes on and off. Red and green have been going for, yes, the last 200 hours maybe. It is going to be a shorter stream today. I need to pick up my stepdaughter a bit early today, which means I need to wake my son up soon. What are we doing running around, huh? Who took our car? I do have exoskeletons. I've got some rover ports. Since I went for the RoboPort coverage early, quote unquote early, not really that early. Means there's not a whole lot of need for moving around manually. You can do a lot of stuff from remote view, which is nice. Gives us a little bit of a break until we go off to another planet. You can see I'm slowly extending our RoverPort network. We are eventually going to square off this land here, so we can grab all of this area. See how far down we can go straight. We are going to tap that copper mine. Probably supplement. That copper mine is chunking. Where's it going? It's there to supplement something on the other side, isn't it? Yeah, it feeds what was our mall. Keeps the red and green signs topped up. And then feeds either tops up blue science or feeds gray science. That's why we'll have a problem when and if we have to do any sciences that are so that's supplementary copper. We're doing pretty good on copper down here in science land. We're way more copper intensive up here for sure, but this is not going to be like constant production. I mean, I really want to steal some of this space here. So I can bring trains up around here. Gives me access to some of this material over here if I need it. How are we doing on iron for science? Those two are an offshoot of a supplementary track. But you can see how slow that's moving. That is a combination of those two mines. Those are both pretty hefty. That's primarily this mine and these guys, which they're all coming from over here. So iron, I mean, we're a little more precarious on our iron production, I guess. We have that oil, this oil, and this oil feeding blue signs. 3, 5. Does it tell us about oil at all? Do I have to go look at the wiki? I don't know how to actually like calculate what those percentages mean. Let's see. Oil yield. Help if I could spell. Pump jacks extract crude oil from fields. Each field. Blah 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 blah. Extracting oil lowers the field's yield by 1% per 30 pump jack cycles to a minimum of 20% of the initial yield, or 2 per second, whichever is larger. They're limited to a maximum of 1,000 per cycle, achieved by an oil field with more than 9,999 yield. That's rare, yes, I get it. Don't remember like the initial yields of these oil fields though, so like that doesn't help me that much, but generally speaking, I mean this one I think was like 16 or 17,000 when it first started, so 20% of that is, since they're so big, the 20% number is the one that you would think about. The pump jack outputs an amount of crude oil per cycle equal to 10 multiplied by the field's yield. 54, the example, it gives us 54 crude oil for 538% yield. So 5,400 would be 540. Yeah, so we're looking at like a 15,000% oil field. Yeah, so in the wiki they're speaking about the individual. Oh shit, I've been talking. I've just now realized that I have been muted the entire time. How funny. Anyway, as you can see, the base has grown. Rocket fuel, a sink for solid fuel. Yeah. Does pretty much just go, doesn't it? We're just gonna be burning oil. Okay, that's a lot of oil, for sure. If we add in this oil, which is the plan, it should be enough. I need to come up with a situation here where it, like, stops. Like if we don't need rocket fuel, this should stop. So the vent only opens when so if we treat this line like a vent, we only want the vent open when we need rocket fuel. So we could do this. And I have to go. only if the rocket fuel in the system is less than 10,000. That'll cause it to back up. We'll deplete buffers. It'll run some too, for sure. There's a system in place to continue it running. I think that'll work. These guys will all back up, and then these two will back up, and this will back up, and we'll be done. Alright, well, short stream. Sorry for the lack of voice. I'm sure it was desperately boring anyway, so not that you missed much. Anyway, I gotta get going. Enjoy your weekend. This has been the Colonel.